Tonight we're gonna party like it's 1999 in Japan.
Pokemon Gold and Silver and Crystal are considered some of the best that the series has to offer, featuring 2 regions, a butt ton of new Pokemon compared to Red, Blue, and Yellow, and other stuff, I'm sure. We're nostalgic for these games, and obviously a lot of people are too, seeing as they're porting it to the 3DS Virtual Console. Not Crystal for some reason, though. That's kind of sad. Don't know why they aren't porting Crystal. I want to give you money, Nintendo. Come with us on a trip down memory lane on today's video as we go through our retrospective of the 2nd generation of Pokemon.
Discover the world of Johto with Pokemon Gold and Silver. Tons of new Pokemon, new challenges, new badges to collect. Pokemon Gold and Silver for Game Boy. Gotta catch 'em all. And now, see all these Pokemon in 3D in Pokemon Stadium 2.
Welcome to Stuff We Play, your source for everything weird, adventurous, and retro. If that sounds cool to you,
You should probably subscribe.
Yeah, I'd say so.
yeah, it's good stuff. So today, I'm James.
I'm Colin.
This is our friend from Plat.
Yes, my name is Kenton, and you may know me as Plat. I live in California, but I always love coming back here to see these guys, and we're going to talk about something that I truly just think is one of the best things ever today, which is Gen 2 Pokemon.
Some of the best games in the series. I wouldn't say my personal favorite anymore, but definitely some I have the most nostalgia for.
Alright, well, it's kind of like a double thing for me, because it's my favorite still, and I have a lot of nostalgia for it.
So talking Gen 2, I never personally played through these cartridges,
Oh, okay.
but
Oh,
I did play the
damn
remakes, and the remakes were... What did you say? What did you say?
I love how, like, I'm a little bit more accepting of it, and you just, like, go out and be like, these damn kids and their
Is that what
DSs.
You know what, James? You can take your fire chicken, shove it up your...
I thought you were all about the fire chicken. You're like, oh, it's the legendary bird. Screw Lugia, I'm gonna...
Yeah, how was awesome?
No, you're...
Lugia! Like I said, I never played Gold or Silver as a kid because back where I lived, we didn't have Game Boy Colors. But when I moved up here to the States, I did get a copy of Heart Gold for my birthday when I was like, what, 10, 12?
Best birthday present ever.
Right? Yeah, it was for $40 on release. Now they retail for what, 60?
And the prices have definitely gone up on, like,
It's even
everywhere.
better since I just realized before filming this that my box for Heart Gold is here, but my cartridge is nowhere to be found.
Yikes.
So I first experienced Gold and Silver when I was a kid. It belonged to my cousin Kevin. It was his copy of Silver version. I remember I was probably about 4 years old. I couldn't actually understand anything that was going on. He only let me play it a couple times, so part of me feels like I accidentally started a new file and saved over something. I'm not sure.
Wow. Rude.
I didn't actually get a copy though till I was a bit older, where I slowly bought all 3 versions, and I forget what happened, but I went through a few different copies of Gold and Silver, just buying them, then selling them, and then I got the ones I have now. But the one that was always standard was Crystal version. This was originally Colin's copy of Crystal.
What happened was, I got that copy of Crystal after learning about Gen 2. This was before Heart Gold and Soul Silver had come out. So I begged and begged and begged. My parents were like, look, we find you this copy. It's the same game from the same generation. It's a little cheaper online, so they bought it for me, except it didn't have a working save battery. So then James told me, hey, I can fix it for you. So he did fix it for me, but lo and behold, I totally forgot about it. I just let James keep it after he fixed it, because it took like, what, 6 weeks?
It took 6 weeks for I forget what service it was, but it does work and
Yeah,
save
now it
beautifully
saves and
now.
works fine.
That's good.
And that's the biggest problem of going through and playing these on cartridge, and why I'm excited for the 3DS ports. The save batteries go out. Most of them don't work anymore if it's the original save battery.
Yeah, I had to get one of mine replaced. Well, actually, I think on both versions of Silver that I own, I think they eventually had to be replaced. And then I've just been an idiot, and I haven't even utilized them that much, even ever since they were replaced. So, but yeah, they go out. I feel like they go out even more often than the Gen 1s, even though they're probably the same batteries. But more often than not, I will find Gen 2 games that don't have working batteries than any other Pokemon game out there.
Well, I could definitely see it because it's probably putting more strain on that battery because it has the day-night system.
Yeah, but that was one of the best parts about it, which is, but I guess that's why they didn't include it in Gen 3.
I guess we should start with talking about one of the biggest improvements Gen 2 had over Red and Blue. Color.
Sprite animations.
Only in Crystal.
And the day and night cycle.
Man, that was...
Almost forgot about it.
It's really cool though, because it's like you'd go into an area at a different time of day and you'd find different Pokemon, you know?
Yeah, and it also changes up the battle theme. If you're fighting any sort of wild Pokemon, it'll change the battle theme, and then so that makes it so that there's 4 battle themes in total. There's the Johto day one, the Johto night one, the Kanto day one, and the Kanto night one. So I got a Silver version. This isn't my copy, unfortunately, but I got this version of Silver when I was about 8 years old. This is back when I lived in California, because that's where I grew up for about half of my childhood. And what actually happened for the longest time is that, like an idiot, I traded my copy of Silver for my friend's copy of Red version. And for some reason, like, he just didn't want to trade back for about like oh my gosh, about 6-7 months or so. And it would always be that thing like, yeah, I'll give you it back, and then eventually I finally got it back, and he had like gotten all the way to the league or something like that, so I didn't really even understand. So like in that time frame, I actually got Sapphire version, and I think I beat that in the time it took for me to get my Silver back. And so then after I moved here to Texas, that's when I actually started the game over and completed it from start to finish on Silver. A few years later, that's when Soul Silver came out, and it was pretty much the last Pokemon game that I enjoyed to its entirety. Especially because you have the little partner Pokemon in the first in your party that runs around with you. I don't know why they didn't bring that back, but it was one of the best things ever, because it was just so adorable.
I'm pretty sure...
You didn't like the later gens?
Well, no, I did really like Gen 5, but for some reason that's when I started to not really complete it. I almost got to the end in Gen 5, and I don't know what happened. I just started to lose interest, and then when Gen 6 and 7 came out, I either bought them and I didn't play them, or I didn't buy them at all.
I'd agree. I'd say Gen 6 is definitely the weakest in the series.
I'd agree with that statement.
But we aren't talking about Gen 6, we're talking about Gen 2, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
So I guess the biggest thing with Gen 2 was the new Pokemon. There were 100 after Red and Blue. What do you think were... Do you remember that, where they gave like Misty a Togepi in the anime and showed a bunch of them in the first movie?
And like how in the first movie, wasn't there like a furret or like
a Donphan?
It was a Donphan.
That's what it was. I was trying to remember.
There was an episode in which like a bunch of Donphans are trying to win the affection of a female Donphan, and the female Donphan in that episode is a shiny Donphan. Fun fact of the day. And like through hijinks, like they help a Donphan like use its rollout the best, and like it like curls up into a ball, and all you can see its ears, and it goes. On the topic of rollout, one of the most memorable things for me playing through these games is a very specific Pokemon that uses rollout by the name of Miltank.
Oh god.
Now, you guys know what I'm talking about, but for the viewers who don't know, Gen 2 has a ridiculous difficulty spike after the second gym. Because Gen 2, since it is 2 regions, the level up system in Gen 2 is a lot slower than it was in Gen 1. So like by the 7th gym, you only have level 30s, well, compared to the Gen 1, you usually had like level 40s by that time.
Level 50s.
Yeah, because they had to compensate with having a whole other region with another 8 gym leaders. So right after you beat Bugsy, which is the second gym leader, your Pokemon are almost level 20, not even. Like maybe you just evolved your Feraligatr at level 18, or you've had your Quilava for a little bit, and you go into Goldenrod City, and Kenton, continue my story.
Well, actually, I kind of have I'm kind of the outlier to this, because whenever I would play Pokemon, I would just grind a whole lot for no reason. So I was one of the people who, when I got to Whitney in Goldenrod City, her rollout never really affected me all that much. I think when I replayed it and did Soul Silver, like the rollout was annoying, but it wasn't like lethally annoying. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you finish up.
But the point is that usually at that point, especially if you have Quilava or whatever part of the fire starter Evo line you're on, you can pretty much just like wipe out the first 2 gyms without any consequence. And so you'll definitely get there under leveled. And so then the point is that Whitney pulls out the Miltank and she hits you with Rollout, and it's pretty much a wake-up slap.
First she uses Attract on your Pokemon so you can't hit them. Then she hits you with Body Slam and paralyzes your Pokemon. Then she uses Milk Drink to heal her Miltank. And then she uses Rollout, and then you die. And
well, Colin, there is one thing you could do that makes it easier.
What?
Headbutt trees. There's this really cool mechanic called
Yeah.
Headbutt, where you could use to move Headbutt. It was just a TM, not an HM.
Yeah,
against trees,
yeah.
and then bug Pokemon usually would fall out. And what I would always do, because I think it was still my cousin who tipped me off to this originally. Maybe it was you. It was either you or Kevin. You could get a Heracross from headbutting a tree.
I remember this.
And the Heracross could learn fighting type moves. And since Miltank is a normal type Pokemon, then that pretty much just nerfed that Miltank.
Following that story, I remember how I beat it. I got myself a Heracross, and Heracross in Gen 2 at a very low level learns Counter, which doubles the damage back, the damage that was received. So I would wait until the Miltank got to his 3rd or 4th rollout, then switch out into Heracross and Counter, and it would usually one-hit KO the Miltank.
That's a pretty darn good strategy.
So,
Better than just grinding.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the first Pokemon you get, though. The starters. Cyndaquil?
Oh yeah, Cyndaquil.
Cyndaquil is the best starter, just hands down in Gen 2. Bayleaf is pretty cool. Bayleaf's design is probably the best, in my opinion.
I'll be honest, as someone who grew up, in Texas, near bayous and everything, I always, for Alligator's design, always struck a chord with me. I always really enjoyed that. But as far as actually using a starter, Cyndaquil.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with James, because Cyndaquil is definitely my favorite, and then Totodile is just a little bit far behind, to the point where I actually used Totodile in my my second playthrough, I think. But the one thing I don't like is Chikorita. I think actually Chikorita looks pretty stupid.
Oh,
yeah.
Chikorita
Chikorita's so cute.
It's cute, but it's almost pathetic cute.
Yeah.
What, you have a leaf on your head? It's like someone could just that leaf could fall off so easily, and it's like,
oh no, hedge clippers, my one true
exactly.
weakness.
Do you not remember in the anime when Ash's Chikorita would use Razor Leaf, she'd bob her head back and forth?
I do remember that.
I remember in the anime Ash's Bayleaf getting way too attached to him.
Yo también te extrañé mucho.
Yeah, oh yeah, the body slam thing? That was creepy, dude.
That was creepy.
I saw that episode, and I'm like, what is going on?
That's
you didn't
some Sonic
see that?
06
Yeah,
type
that was
crap
some
right
that was some weird stuff, because it was for some reason it was at just the very end of the episode.
Right.
Bayleaf learned body slam.
Right.
And the way it did this was just to tackle Ash in the middle of nowhere, just go, and Brock's like, oh, your Bayleaf learned body slam, and it looks like it's pretty attached to you. And even as a kid, I was like,
what the hell?
What is, just you're sitting there looking at the screen, and you're like, what did I just get myself into?
I guess let's talk about, since we're getting onto this, let's go on to the journey of Gold and Silver.
Sure.
What were your first thoughts when you started going through Johto?
First thoughts in Johto. I was just excited more than anything. I thought it was really happy, especially the first few routes. I don't know, it just had this really happy feel to it. But then on the side you had your rival, who was kind of this weird, menacing, but still kind of goofy guy.
He stole a Pokemon.
Yeah,
what an asshole!
He's the only real evil
but he
rival,
does get character
I guess.
development.
Yeah, exactly. But he's probably the most actually developed character, which is compared to, oh my god, How? No, shut up! I love May. I'm talking about How in Gen 7.
Moon.
Yeah.
He's great. He gets so much.
He's so stupid.
He loves Melocidas.
Who cares about Melocidas? Okay, we've gone off track.
But I don't know what the thing was with Silver, the rival. I thought he was so cool as a kid. Now I look at him
he was Giovanni's kid.
Yeah,
but
that was
nowadays,
confirmed in Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Go ahead.
But I don't know. The way I see him now is the really edgy kids you see hanging outside of Hot Topic.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of see him whenever I play through nowadays.
I don't think so, because I think if he was one of those edgy kids standing outside of Hot Topic, he'd be a poser. But I feel he's actually the real deal.
He's
he does
inside
go,
Hot Topic.
and he steals.
He's the manager at Hot Topic.
But I still really liked Silver. I think that's when I noticed that the game actually had a lot of depth to it, because when you're a kid, when you first start out, yeah, it's all really happy, and then you find your rival, and it's oh wow, we're actually starting to get into some real kind of character development. And then I guess one other thing about the journey that I really liked is that there's so many things on the side, so many things that are special to each town, because at first you go into the Bellsprout Tower. And that's one of the other places where you meet your rival, and it's wow, this is so different, and it feels you really get a glimpse into what makes Johto Johto.
I guess it kind of was more Japanese than Red and Blue, wasn't it? Because Red and Blue
Definitely.
at a lot of points just felt like, oh, welcome to generic city, but Johto was like, no, like, had like legit architecture and whatnot to it. Like, you know, like you get to Olivine City, especially in Crystal where they
the
redid-
lighthouse?
Yeah, the
Oh, yeah.
lighthouse. You know, you had landmarks. You know, I mean, you had the Pokemon Tower in Red and Blue, but you know.
That was in Lavender Town, but then in the tower that I remember the most is the Burned Tower or the Tin Tower.
Tin Tower.
Tin
was
Tower
cool.
is the one that has Ho-Oh. The Burn Tower is the one where you see the 3 dogs. Before
Yeah,
they
the
run
3
around
legendary beasts.
beasts. Excuse me.
And I just remember in Heart Gold and Soul Silver you meet a character called Yucine. Is Yucine in
Yes.
OG?
He's not.
He's
no,
only
just
in Crystal.
Well,
there's Crystal. Excuse me.
In Yucine, his like main gimmick is, oh, I'm gonna hunt Suicune. Well, he doesn't want to hunt it. He just wants to like be friends with it.
He wants to study it.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wants to like use it, I guess, like as a trainer.
Yeah, like
But-
he's jealous of you because you're able to get so close to
Yeah,
Suicune.
and like I remember when I would play through my copy of Heart Gold, finding Suicune in the areas where he was. I remember he's in Cianwood City one time. Then he's like behind a cut tree, and then you see him in Kanto when you're over there.
They do that in Crystal as well, I think.
Yeah, and then I remember right before you fight Suicune with that delicious Suicune only battle music. Oh, that one's amazing.
I will say this though, the other 2 legendary dogs in Crystal and all of them in Gold and Silver, excuse my language, those things.
What do you mean?
I hate roaming legendary.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
those
okay.
were
Yeah,
those were a
that's
bit
annoying.
annoying, but it's like I always used to do it when I'd go on like long car trips as a kid. You just
Yeah.
like spend your time looking for that could help you pass the time, I guess. But it's definitely just a
It's a gimmick.
it's just a
annoying.
gimmick. And I mean,
It's a
but it's
time
not
waster.
unique to it was the first gen to have that, but it was not unique to Gen 2. Because then
wasn't-
you had it in pretty much every
You had
gen
it in-
afterward.
You had it in Gen 3 with Latios and Latios, and Gen 4 with the Lake Guardians, Gen
Those were
5
the
with the
worst.
Spirits.
Those were the worst.
The Lake Guardians?
Yes.
Yeah, and
No.
then you had Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres and Platinum.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I liked it better when you
The
could
mighty
just
Tory
get
birds.
them in their normal places.
I'll be honest, that's one thing I liked that they did better in Gen 6 was Roman Legendaries. You just need to encounter it, and then after I think it was 6 times, it will just go to one location, you can just fight it.
Yeah,
Oh,
in Gen
thanks for getting smart, Game Freak.
Okay, let's go back to Gen 2.
All right,
Let's see, I
should
don't
we
know.
talk about the music now?
Well, let's continue up to Quest.
Oh,
Team
sure, okay.
King Rocket.
Team
They're back.
Rocket.
They're back, baby.
Oh,
and they're
yeah.
here to
Oh,
mess it. They're gonna steal your lunch money and wrinkle your school
Munch
clothes.
Lunny.
Your munch lunny.
I know what that reminds me of. Did you ever see the Vietnamese Pokemon Crystal?
I love Vietnamese Crystal.
Volcano Bake Meat. in the
Volcano,
kitchen.
dude, I love that. And Missile Bomb. They're Missile Bomb and Vietnamese Crystal.
In Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I know that the executives aren't named in Gold, Silver, and Crystal, but in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you've got Archer, and then you've got the lady.
Proton.
Yeah, you've got Proton.
No, Proton was a dude.
Yeah, Proton's a guy, but then there's another lady who's got like red hair. You fight her in the rocket hideout
yeah.
with Lance.
Oh, yeah.
Lance is the trolliest piece of crap. As a champion, he's great. He was a hard fight, especially if you didn't expect 3 underleveled Dragonites.
Oh, you
Those
mean
were
overleveled?
hacked.
Yeah.
Those were hacked.
No, Dragonair, it's a Dragonite, evolves at level 50.
Yeah, but it had
Oh,
moves that was
but I thought
not
it was like
supposed
50
no,
something.
No,
it's
it's
50
50, and they were level what, 40 something?
Yeah, as high
Those
as
things
48.
were hacked.
And then each
hacker.
one of them has Blizzard, another one has Thunder, and then the last one has Outrage. I had an Aerodactyl, and it learned Dragon Claw in Gen 4. That can happen. I was Dragon Clawing one of the Dragonites. It hits me with a Blizzard, and it one-hit KOs. Dragonite is overpowered in Gen 2 because it's one of the only dragon types you can get in the mainline story without having to, like, Kingdra's great, but you have to trade for that
And then
one.
there's Tyranitar as well, wasn't there?
Tyranitar's not the
Yeah.
dragon type.
Oh, it's not?
It's rock dark.
Oh, okay.
T-Tar is
Actually,
one of
that's something I'm really glad they did, going back to Pokemon himself for a sec. They introduced the Dark and Steel types.
Yep.
Yes.
They made Steelix. Oh,
They
Steelix is
nerfed
so
Psychic
cool.
types, which were way too powerful in Red and Blue.
They brought.
But then they fixed the problem in Gen 1 where it was, what was it, like, they made a mistake with what something was weak to.
Yeah, with Psychic.
Like, Psychic.
It wasn't weak to Ghost.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
But it was supposed to be.
yeah, exactly. So they fixed that.
When they added the Dark types, they also introduced the two of the best evolutions, Espeon and Umbreon.
Umbreon
That's
has always been
yes,
my favorite.
Umbreon, I totally agree.
Umbreon is the. In
That's another reason why I like Gen 2.
In metagame, Umbreon is a piece of crap. He's bulky,
Okay, but
he
has the
doesn't
best
die.
design.
Yeah, no,
Best
I
design.
agree. Although his shiny is very underwhelming. They just make his
Really? I like it.
It's
because I like blue.
It's
He
simple.
Looks, yeah.
It's better than Espeon's. Espeon's looks green and looks like a piece of trash.
It looks, it makes me want to vomit just looking at it.
I agree.
And speaking of which, shiny Pokemon. What was your first red Gyarados? Does not count. Well, should we go over what they are first?
1 in 8,000 something or other chance you will encounter a Pokemon. Yeah, you
Recolored Pokemon.
Recolored Pokemon, and it makes the little ding noise when you encounter it, and it's just like any other Pokemon, but it's shiny.
It gives you bragging rights, and all your friends are jealous.
Unless it's a red Gyarados. Everyone got
everyone got a
those.
red Gyarados.
Yeah, I guess they wanted to make everyone feel a little special, but come on, it's Gen 2.
Yeah, my first one was a Geodude.
Alright?
What was yours?
Oh my gosh. See, the thing is that, like, I don't even think I ever got a shiny until I played Gen 5.
Really?
And it was a, what is it called? The Stunfish?
Stunfisk.
Stunfisk. A shiny
the
Stunfisk.
crab fish.
The best. I would
You
love
got-
a shiny Stunfisk. I remember my first shiny was, ironically, in Heart Gold. It was a shiny Pidgey that I found on the route above Vermilion City, and I freaked the heck out.
You called me.
I did. I called James and I go, James, I just found a full-on shiny Pidgey.
Makes you wonder how we got girlfriends.
I haven't.
Can we talk about the music?
All right, yeah, let's talk
Oh wait,
about the.
did you want to like compare Team Rocket 1 to 2?
Yeah,
real
let's
quick?
do that.
Okay, then
So
let's go to the
back to Team Rocket. Team Rocket here, not as threatening as in Gen 1.
Yeah, but I kind of like them better that way because they're more of like this force that just kind of ebbs and flows. Because all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, they're just chilling at their underground hideout, and then Professor Elm calls you. It's like, oh my god, they're taking over the radio tower!
Quick,
And you're
come, you gotta
I'm
help
like,
us.
Like what? What are we? Why are we doing this again?
I feel like it was slightly played for comic relief. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like we're back and we're gonna do evil things like make
Cut
a
off
radio.
Slowpoke tails.
We're gonna sell illegal delicacies and
Force
make a radio
Magikarps to
broadcast and
evolve.
hoping that our former boss was please come back, boss.
Please.
Please.
And
then he doesn't.
There's a story behind it. In Heart Gold and Soul Silver, if you got a special event Celebi,
I missed it.
the Celebi would take you back in time, and it would show you that Silver is Giovanni's son, but it would also let you battle Giovanni in his little cave that he's in,
Chilling in a cave.
He's just chilling in a cave next to a radio, so you know he heard the broadcast, but he starts saying something. He's like, I can't go back until I'm strong enough again, and like some of that stuff.
I don't think he really had his heart in it.
Yeah, because like after he got thrashed by Red
By a
in the first
10-year-old.
game,
Yeah, but still, you got to give it to him. Like that's pretty righteous.
it is very
Self-righteous.
righteous. And like he fights you, and he's the third hardest fight in the game because he's got a Nidoking with Fissure.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
And that thing,
It's a one-hit KO.
it's a one-hit KO. It only hits 30% of the time, but since his Pokemon are like level 56,
Yeah.
and your Pokemon are only like level 40, it's actually like a coin flip whether or not you will get one-hit KO'd. And if he lands all 5 of them, you're only left with 1 Pokemon against his 6.
Team Rocket here, more underwhelming. Selling that Slowpoke tail, you know.
I always
10
wanted to try Snow, even though it was like $1 million.
Yeah, me too.
The gyms, with the exception of Whitney and Morty, weren't really that bad.
The 8th gym was a little
Claire,
tough.
yeah. The dragons.
Claire's gym wasn't bad. She was just kind of...
Her king knew Dragon Pulse and Brine. That Brine messed me
Well,
up.
no, the reason I say that about her is once you defeat her, well, I still don't want to give you the gym badge. I already beat you.
So go to the Dragon Tamer's hut, talk to the elders, get the Pokemon, and get your Dratini with extreme speed.
And then her granddad tells her off, and he's like, sorry about the inconvenience. Here's her Dratini.
Yeah, here you go.
What'd you guys think of the little Easter egg you can find in the second one where you and your rival can battle against Lance and Claire double battle?
I really like that. in
What?
Heart Gold Soul
Yeah.
Silver. Yeah,
You
you
didn't
and
know
your rival
that?
can have
When? Where?
And the
You go to the
post-game.
Dragon's Den after you beat the Pokemon League.
I didn't know that!
Well, you learn something new every day,
It's
don't
been
you?
7 years since Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out, and I had no idea.
Colin, that's how I felt about the whole Giovanni event.
Oh, really?
So cry me a river. Okay, so let's segue that into the music.
The music
Best
is good.
music ever. National
I like
Park,
Black 2, White
Route
2 more.
46. No. Gen 4,
I
hands
said
down.
Gen 5.
Wait,
You like,
I like Gen 5 more.
okay, that's
wait, but what were you saying about Gen 4?
Gen 4 has best music.
Gen 2.
Hell no!
Look at that.
Hell
Diamond
no!
and Pearl soundtrack can't hold a candle.
Yeah, it cannot.
I
hold
like
a
it.
candle.
Route 26. New Bark Town.
Yeah, I said Gen 4. I'm talking about Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
At critique. Oh.
Because
You
remember,
should've said just
I didn't
the
play
remake.
this game.
You should have just said the remake. You probably got the GB sounds.
Dark Cave and Ice Path are my favorite soundtracks.
Yeah, but it kind of got ruined in the GB sounds version. Like they edited something like the bass tracks and make it not sound as good.
Well, what they did was, instead of actually using the old sounds from the games, they just turned it into an 8-bit.
Oh, they
because
like
the DS store has the GB sound thing on it.
yeah.
Right. So
okay.
it doesn't actually use the music from the games. It just turns it into an 8-bit sound.
Oh, see, well that's why I got just so disappointed. But
I'd say best thing the soundtrack Route 26.
okay, that's the one where you get right into Kanto.
Yeah, which I guess another thing we should talk about in the journey, where only game in the series that have 2 regions.
That's something that needs to be brought back, if anything.
Absolutely.
Like, could you imagine, hypothetically, say, like, a game that combined the Hoenn region and and the
Sinnoh?
Kalos region?
Yeah.
Kalos is gross.
But think about it, because like in real life, you gotta have like France and Spain, and then you have like the Canary Islands.
Right.
So you could be like oh wait, sorry, not So Kalos, and then you could be like in the Canary Islands, kind of for Hoenn. I know it's based off of Japan, but like that's just a thought.
But the thing is, it's
I
a
could
fictional
see-
game.
I
They
could
can make
see-
the map whatever they want.
Yeah, exactly.
I could see Unova and Kalos.
But in most Pokemon games, it's like, well, what's slightly to the right of the map,
Yeah,
That's a whole other region.
Yeah,
Surprise!
exactly.
With new legendaries. Well, new legendaries, I say, because you haven't seen them in Johto. You've got Mewtwo, who's harder than ever.
He's not in Heart Gold Silver.
Yes, he is.
Not in the originals.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
I remember
over the
I got to
Safari
it and
Zone.
I was like, that's so disappointing. Yeah, and the Safari Zone.
I remember they take out the Safari Zone. That's why I say you should, if you are gonna play Gen 2, play Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
You can afford it.
If
that's
you
one of
can-
those things.
If you can spend the $60, and if you can find it, that too, they are always in high demand. Like we went to GameStore today. I saw it at the GameStop we were at today.
Yeah.
$59.95.
The thing with Kanto is that what had happened, as the story goes, is that Satoru Iwata, I think it was,
Yeah.
they were having problems even fitting Johto onto the cartridge.
Wow.
So he recoded a bunch of stuff, just him,
Yeah.
right? He fit Johto, and then just for and giggles, decided to put the entirety of Kanto on there as well.
That's amazing.
For space limitations, supposedly, that's why he took out stuff in Kanto, like Viridian Forest and
They're still
scrapped
in?
the Safari Zone.
Oh.
Yeah.
In the remakes, they're still there.
Well,
Yeah,
they
because-
get that out of here.
Yeah. In the remakes, the Safari Zone in Fuchsia City is replaced with the Pal Park.
Stupid.
Which,
I hated Power Park.
which lets you transfer Pokemon from your Game Boy games to your DS games.
All
It
right.
was okay.
I have a gripe with Power Park. Why not just? Why do I can only transfer 6 Pokemon a day? Like, they should have just done what it is now. Transfer as much as you want and in whatever quantity you want.
I don't know why they did that. I mean, I guess it's like an arbitrary thing. Although Nintendo, that's kind of like something Nintendo and their like second party companies always
Yeah.
do. Is they just like do a lot of arbitrary things that make you go like,
Huh?
Lapras. I forgot about Lapras.
Lapras was
Well,
cool.
Lapras is Gen 1.
Finding it in Union Cave though.
Yes, and that was like only on Fridays, right?
Yeah, that was something new they did. Like, there
That's
were only
right.
some events that only happened certain. Like, once you beat the game, like, you can of course go back through Route 26 to the Pokemon League, which is in Kanto. It's the same one from Red and Blue. But at the same time, if you want to, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you can take the boat from Olivine City and go to Vermilion
to
City.
Vermilion City. Yep.
Yeah.
And that always just amazed me because of the concept of it. You know, it's like, well, a Game Boy game with a world so big, I need to use a damn boat.
Yeah.
Or a train.
Yeah.
Or the fact you need to keep time to know when these things are available.
When you get to Kanto, there's not really any plot except for the train's not working,
Go
and then
fix
there's
it.
one lone
Team Rocket member.
Team Rocket member
Bye
who's
bye,
I love
go-go. I come from another country.
Train number one, me.
That's real dialogue from these games. They didn't change it in Heart Gold, Soul Silver either. One thing that I don't like about the remakes that they do have in the older versions is the game corner. In Heart Gold and Soul Silver, they changed it to Voltorb Flip, which is just crappy Sudoku.
They had the real game corner in the Japanese versions.
Really? Of Heart
Oh,
Gold,
I
Soul
didn't
Silver?
know.
What happened, and I know, you see, I know all this nerdy crap because I guess I follow Cerebi.net too much, but so what happened was the European Union made stricter laws on gambling in video games because, think of the children! But so they completely removed the game corner in its entirety from Platinum in Europe.
Oh.
There's no game corner in Platinum in
In
the European
Europe.
versions?
Like it's there, but the slot machines don't work.
If there's one thing I love about Gen 4, it was those slot machines. Actually, they were like really fun.
Yeah.
Especially with the whole moon
And the,
Clefairy thing.
and the shiny Clefairy
Yes.
that would come out sometimes.
okay, anyway.
So that was there in its entirety in Japanese. But in the other versions, you know, it was like, okay, Voltorb Flip. Well, that's fine, but the thing is that if you're going to put in the game corner, either I'm going to go there because I want to waste time on slot machines.
Right.
But if I want to get any prizes, let me buy coins so I can then just buy the Pokemon.
Well, they
Because
let you do
like
that.
not in Heart
They
Gold
do.
Soul
Yeah,
Silver.
no, I know that.
No, you
Oh,
have
they
to.
don't?
No.
You have to play Voltorb Flip.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because what I'd usually do is because you could, Gen 2 is the first time where you could rematch trainers.
Yeah.
Because if you battled
Well,
all the
later.
trainers in Gen 1, you're out of luck. But in
Yeah.
Gen 2, you could do that and then grind up money. So I just do that, and I forget what I bought, but I bought, you know, some moves and stuff from there.
For some reason, I actually kind of liked Voltorb Flip.
Yeah?
Think about that what you will. I don't know. It just. I mean, I was a little disappointed that there were no slot machines, but I kind of liked Voltorb Flip.
I mean, I was never good at it, so whenever I went to play Voltorb Flip, it just ended me like throwing my DS on the floor.
oh,
Oh
that's
god,
not good.
that's violent.
Rage inducing. It's
So-
because when you're like, oh, coin, nope, Voltorb explode.
おい、お口をあーんしてごらん。
I think we've touched on most things here. I mean, you know, it's really cool that, you know, once the credits roll, you're only halfway, or I guess
Yeah.
like 60, 70% done.
Yeah, about 60%.
About.
Yeah, but the thing is that I guess we should talk about the biggest challenge of it all, when the real final boss of the game.
Red.
Mr. Red.
From Red and Blue, which, man,
It's kind of like a super-powered version, almost like the U from Yellow. Because
Yeah.
in Yellow, you get all the starters at one point or another,
Yeah.
just going throughout the map.
what was
and
that,
then
a
all of
level
sudden he has-
83 Pikachu?
Nope.
In the original, it was level 81, but
In the remakes,
yeah, he's
it's level
tougher in the
88.
remakes.
The Pikachu's level 88
It's
and it knows
crazy.
Volt Tackle and Iron Tail, and it's so hard. But they did change one thing. In the remakes, Red has a Lapras instead of an Espeon. In the original games, Red has an Espeon instead of a Lapras.
Seemed like
Fun
a
fact.
really arbitrary change, but at the same time,
Well,
that
they wanted to stick with like, oh, he's from Gen 1, so he should have Gen 1 Pokemon. He
But
should
at
have
the,
it.
at
But
the,
he gets an Eevee. He gets an Eevee from Bill, right?
yeah,
Oh,
but
no,
but-
we do in Gen 2.
oh no,
Yeah.
but you get one from that top of that building in Celadon City in
right.
Right,
But
right.
the-
But you
I-
can't evolve it into Espeon at that time.
Well, yeah, I feel like they just did that for continuity because at the same time you get gifted a Lapras at one point.
Yeah, in Silphco.
Yeah.
you get a
Plus,
Lapras.
Mount Silver is technically in Johto.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
So he's in Johto. It's not like it's not like he just lived in Kanto for his whole life and then
Went slightly
suddenly
to the-
got Espeon in Kanto. He's in Johto.
I
Yeah.
just love the whole idea of that. Whoa, there's 100 new Pokemon. Where were they? I don't know, slightly to the left over some mountains.
just take the train.
Since you guys told me that there is no Safari Zone in Gold and Silver,
Technically.
Yeah.
in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, they did bring back the Safari Zone with one of the best route musics ever. Do you remember right
Oh,
after,
yeah,
to
where
the
you have
left
the
of,
cliff
Cyanwood City and you're running along the cliff sides?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is my favorite soundtrack from where it's like, it starts with a nice piano that
See, I
it's great.
can't remember that one as well. But if you're
It was
asking me
optional,
what,
right?
it was optional. But if you're asking me what my favorite song is
Yeah.
from from Gen 2, I'd have to go with either the Dark Cave music or Azalea Town.
Still sticking with Route 26.
Route 26.
Now, I guess there's one more thing I should mention.
Right.
Crystal was quite the upgrade.
It was.
Like, because while Yellow added more story-wise and stuff to do, Crystal was more of a technical upgrade than Yellow was over Red and Blue.
You also couldn't play it on the original Game Boy if you wanted to.
That's true. Gold and Silver you could play on a regular Game Boy in black and white.
Because they have this little notch right here, if you can see that. Oops,
This
sorry.
one has it too.
But Crystal doesn't have that, and it's in this special, sexy,
It has the little
clear
bubble on
cartridge.
top.
Yeah, so, but I guess there's some extra tech in there. For first things first, for the first time ever, you could play as a girl.
Hooray,
Which was
Chris.
amazing. Pokemon appealed to everybody, and so it was good for them to finally have a
In Japan, you had the biggest upgrade though, because you could actually go online.
Yep.
with the mobile phone adapter.
Which was revolutionary.
You know the global trade station? No, back before people were asking for level 1 Dialgas and whatnot. In Japan, you had Pokemon Crystal, which could already do that back in 2001.
Yeah, get wrecked, son.
The Battle Tower, first appearance of the Battle Tower.
I was never a big fan of the Battle Tower, but that's just because
But
I
hey,
was
in
never
Heart
that
Gold
good
and
at the
Soul
game.
Silver, they've got the Battle Frontier.
Which is
Which
cool.
is
cool.
amazing. It's a lot better than it was in Emerald, in my opinion. I don't like the Battle Frontier in Emerald.
Yeah.
The only,
It's
the only
okay.
cool thing was the Battle Pike, which was the giant Viper.
I like Battle Factory. But regardless, so that was cool, and then there's some other stuff that I think that it had animated sprites.
Yep, that animated sprite. Well, also, I'm just going to tack on one thing to the sprites with the female sprite now. It made Pokemon a lot more personal. Like, no longer were you just playing as Red or as yourself. You were playing as yourself. Now with people who wanted to use the female sprite, it just made it more like more personal.
Yeah.
Like you were attached to your Pokemon. You got attached to your Pokemon a lot easier.
But I think Crystal was definitely the definitive version of Gold and Silver.
Yeah,
I'd have to agree.
I still don't know why they aren't releasing on 3DS, unless they're just waiting off, in which case, might be smart if they just wait. No, to like right after Ultra Sun and Moon comes out.
Maybe they will release it on the Switch eShop.
That'd be cool if they ever
Yeah, I'd be
actually
down.
roll out the Switch Virtual Console. Now, there is one more thing we need to tackle as far as Gen 2 goes.
What?
And that is Pokemon Stadium 2.
You want to use your gold and silver skills in a 3D world? Well, now you can get Pokemon Stadium 2. You can upload your Game Boy Pokemon onto your N64 and battle with over 250 characters in 3D. You've got skills. Save them for the game. Rated E.
I mean, there are several spin-offs. I think there was Puzzle Challenge.
Yeah.
There is Pokemon TCG 2 in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we didn't get that.
But this is the main one, Stadium 2. And Pokemon Stadium 1 was just a bunch of battles, Gym Leader Castle,
Yeah.
Battle your Pokemon 3D. And then it had the Game Boy Tower, which you could actually speed up a bit to make battles and stuff go faster.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is pretty much just that, but I guess you can fight both the Johto and Kanto gym leaders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was fun to see your Pokemon in full in like 3D sprite polygons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
terms.
that wouldn't come back until Pokemon
Battle
Coliseum.
I think my favorite thing of the Stadium games, though, and I know they aren't as good as like Mario Party or whatever, but all the mini game modes and whatnot. I remember playing those a lot as a kid.
Okay, see, I never owned Pokemon Stadium, but I always see like a bunch of cool YouTube videos on like people having fun with those mini games. They remind me of Mario Party.
Yeah,
So-
they're a lot of fun to play.
I guess that's really it. So, final thoughts on the second generation of Pokemon.
Well, I'm thinking that if you want to get a definitive version nowadays, you should probably go with either Heart Gold, Soul Silver, or Crystal, which of course are the three most expensive copies. But what you do get in the remakes are a bunch of new areas that you never had access to, plus kind of the original music, but not really.
Yeah.
And of course you get your Pokemon to stand behind you, but yeah,
And
I think
updated graphics.
of course, updated graphics. But I think that any way you want to experience Gen 2 is absolutely amazing. It always just makes Flood of Nostalgia come back to me. And I think it just introduced a lot of the Pokemon that I remember the most. And everything about it just makes me feel pretty happy. No bad thoughts.
Like, more on Pokemon design, they got so good in Gen 2. You had Scizor, you had Tyranitar, you had Ho and Lugia. They got so good. Pokemon really stepped up their game from Gen 1 to Gen 2, and like even they added egg hatching, they added breeding, they added shiny Pokemon. I didn't get to experience it as a little kid, but it's still pretty fun to go back through Johto, and just having the Pokemon follow behind you is the best part about the Gen 4 remakes.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a legendary behind you, because those guys are huge.
They don't fit in the houses.
Then they can't fit inside, and then they'll pop out of the Pokeball when you're out in the field. And
The best is when you have WillIRock following behind you.
Yeah.
And like you have this literal whale just flopping behind you.
It's the largest sprite. Legendaries are two bits.
Yeah.
Normal Pokemon are 1. WillIRock is 4 bits.
Really?
Yeah, it's 2 up and 2 down. It is pretty comical to like run around because you're so used to having the Pokemon behind you. Like if you're in a gym or something, then you just come out and hey, there's your buddy, and he kills you.
Pokemon designs were amazing. My personal favorite Pokemon of all time is Donphan. Why I just like elephants.
I like Donphan too.
Donphan, like it's not the best Pokemon to use, but man, I love the design of Don. Like if any Pokemon would be real, I'd want a Phanpy or a Donphan just to
That'd be very
keep as a
cute.
pet.
Yeah.
What do
want
I
Umbreon.
think about Gen 2? Well, I'm, depending on the day of the week, more partial towards either Black 2 and White 2 or Sun Moon. Gen 2 is amazing. Any way you cut it, it's great. I'd say Heart Gold, Soul Silver is the best way to experience it.
Yep.
If you can afford it. I mean, holy crap, it's like, it's 60,
bucks.
and if I can't find that cartridge, I guess I'll have to buy a new one, because this retrospective really makes me want to go play through Johto again.
I mean, you can go play through Crystal.
I guess, but I want to have a WillIRock following behind me.
I just want that WillIRock.
I want to mate it with the skitties.
Stop.
But that's for our Gen 3 retrospective. If we ever get
next
around
year.
to it.
And Gen 3, that's my turf.
This has been fun. I mean, this has been our second retrospective. Of course, last year Colin and I did that.
Just
Let's
Gen
Talk
1.
About Game 20th anniversary special, which we talked about Gen 1 memories.
Mm-hmm.
It really is nothing like what a modern Let's Talk About Games is like, but it's a good time to watch, I'm sure.
That was back when we were in high school.
That was back before I had a beard, or wore the hat.
And back before I met James.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Also true. If you don't want to shell out for a copy of Heart Gold, Soul Silver, I'd say more... If you can find Crystal Cartridge working on the cheap, fine, but if you can find it on the cheap, it probably doesn't save. I'd say if you don't want to shell out for Heart Gold and Soul Silver, your best option for playing through Gen 2, buy the 3DS Virtual Console versions. Trust me, it still works. One of the big problems was that when they released Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, even though you could transfer your Pokemon up from Red and Blue to Gold and Silver, this was the only time you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So your
Oh,
Pokemon
yeah.
were stuck in Gold, Silver, and Crystal, and you had to start new. In the 3DS versions, any Pokemon you catch in the 3DS versions of Gold and Silver, you'll be able to directly transfer to
Sun and Moon.
Sun and Moon.
Through Pokebank.
Yeah, which is cool. Just like you could with the ports of Red and Blue, which they released Crystal. But, wait off and do that. I think they're going to be, $8?
They're usually 10.
I think Johto's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, growing up in Johto, I guess.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have grown up in any other place.
Yeah.
California? Nah, Johto.
California.
Come on. California.
California.
Next,
I think we should stop before we talk about the lizard.
before we go off on yet another train wreck of a tangent, would you like to plug your channels?
Nope, don't subscribe to me. I have one video and
C-Sparks 1011, he has
none
3
are-
videos.
none are coming back. Nope.
You recorded another thing a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. You know what? Next C-Sparks video coming out, Mewmore Fire Red walkthrough. Let's do it.
Okay, I'd be fine with that. Maybe I'll try to co-com or something.
Well,
Yeah.
this is
We're gonna
creepy.
play through Pokemon Mewmore Fire Red with
There you
the
go.
sexiest Pokemon alive. We got Gardevoir, we got Butterfree, we've got Snorlax. Ah, yes. Okay, the end. I'm done.
Okay, well, I'm an adult, as you can see by my t-shirt, but another thing is that, yeah, my name's Plat, and you can find my channel, hopefully just in the description, or youtube.com/PlatinumTriforce, that's what I used to call myself. But yeah, I make some videos from time to time. I haven't been as active lately, but hopefully you'll see some more, video game and or just, stupid stuff at some point. I also like Vaporwave, which is kind of dumb, but whatever. Vape Nation. There you go, that's a good way to end it.
Of course, comment your memories of Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal down in the comments below. And if you don't have any memories of Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal, go make some.
Get some.
And remember to stay subscribed to Stuff We Play for more great content such as this. This is a bit different from what we usually do, but this was
I really
fun.
liked it.
Thanks for coming
It
along,
was
guys.
awesome.
Yeah.
No, this is something we've all wanted to do for a while now.
Yeah.
So, a lot of fun.
Look forward to our Gen 3 retrospective next year.
Coming in 2018,
That's
most
true.
likely. Now we're saying it's probably going to be Jinx. It's probably going to, we're going to be come back here in 2023, and it's like, so where were we last time? So Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald.
We're like,
Now wait, I need to talk about those Gen 5 remakes now.
Man, guys, I'm so excited for Gen 9. Pokemon Liver and Spleen versions look so great.
Then you can play Pokemon Horseradish version.
Ooh.
Is Mayonnaise a Pokemon game?
No.
No,
All right.
Patrick.
We're gonna wrap this up.
All right.
Before we go, so thank you very much for watching. Stay classy, and here's
Reality
a
is an illusion. The world is a lie. Buy gold. Buy.
Here's a blooper.
There you go.
So maybe maybe.
Maybe.
That was
Maybe.
great.
It's a good Pokemon.
Yeah.
Flabébé. Gen 6.
Clefairy.
Clefairy.
Clefairy. Yeah.
Clefairy.
Clefairy.
Clefable. Clefairy Blade.